first graders, it's Miss Rayburn here. I gathered together my supplies and I have my paper from last week. I got my crayons, which is that I'm gonna use for my patterns and things. So I'm kind of spreading them out. And then I also have a pencil because I'm gonna work pretty hard on making this symmetrical. Now, when you look at right next to me over here, there is an example of a sugar skull. And you can see that it's symmetrical. It has an eye on each side, half of a nose on each side, half of the mouth and teeth on each side. So I'm gonna work on creating that, okay? Now the heart you might have noticed, or the nose you might have noticed, pardon me, looks a little bit, look at the example right there. It looks a little bit like an upside down heart. So I'm starting, and I'm glad I started with my pencil because I already made a little bit of a goof. By drawing a kind of a fancy heart, which is going to be the upside down nose. And I'm glad I drew it with a pencil because when I made a mistake, I could just erase it away. That can be a little bit tricky. So if this is where my nose is going to be, my eyes will be here and here. Now I want them to be the same on both sides. Here's the center of my skull. I can see the fold in the paper. So I'm gonna have flower eyes, like most of the examples I've seen of sugar skulls. So I'm gonna start by making the center of the flower, and then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna draw the center of this flower. And I'm gonna kind of check for myself. Am I about the same, about 2 fingers apart? Yes. Are they about the same size? Yes, not perfect, but you can tell that I'm trying. To keep myself from making mistakes with my symmetry, I'm gonna draw one petal over here, then one over here, then one over here, then one over here, so that I kind of keep myself the same. So I'm gonna make my petal come out like this on the top. And then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do it on this side. And I'm gonna see, did I make it about the same size? Yeah, pretty close. Then I'm gonna make one that comes over here. And then I'm gonna go over here and do it on this side because I'm trying to keep it symmetrical. Then I'm gonna go down here like that. Then I'm gonna go over here and do this side. And I'm just working my way around. I'm trying to make these about the same size as I go around. They're kind of rounded. They come out and then they're kind of rounded. So not exactly the same on both sides, but you can tell that I really tried, right? They're about the same size. If I line up my pencil, they kind of end about the same place. They start about the same place. You can tell that I tried. I'm gonna put a little pattern, a little design in between these petals, which looks like a little zigzag line in between the petals. So I did them all on one side, then I'm gonna go over here. And then I think I might even give it kind of a spiral line for the center. So when I draw it on one side, I go draw it on the other side. The teeth, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna draw the line for where my teeth are gonna go. And I'm gonna have a top tooth, and then I'm gonna go over here and make another one. And then I'm gonna go over here and make one that's a little bit shorter. And I'm gonna go over here and make one that's a little bit shorter. And again over here, and again over there, maybe one last one on the top. So not exactly the same, but you can tell that I tried. This is a trick my art teacher taught me when I was a little girl, that if you'll go little step by little step, it will really help you. So I'm gonna go down here and then over to this side. Over here, over to this one. Over here to this one. And then the last one, like that. So again, not perfectly symmetrical, but you can tell that I have tried. Now that I've done some practicing with my pencil and I feel good about what I did, I'm gonna go through with a black crayon. You also could use a black marker if you're having trouble finding a black crayon, or if you just would rather use a black marker, that's okay, it's up to you. And I'm going to go around the lines that I drew with my pencil so that they'll kind of pop out. If you look at the example of the sugar skull, next to this, should be right over there on the side, looks like it's on the wall of our virtual classroom, you'll see that there are lots of patterns and designs along with the flowers that you see for the eyes, the upside down heart for the nose, and the other things. For example, I might have a decorative pattern that comes out this way and then one that goes this way. And if I want to have some circle patterns over here, I would then go do it over here. And if I want to have 3 lines coming out this way, then I would go do my 3 lines coming out this way. One of the things that helps me a lot is that when I do something on one side, I go and do it on the other. So I would really encourage you to try that. I'm gonna do some little outlining on my teeth. I'm gonna do the little line in between. Now I can make my teeth any color that I want. I can make my flowers any color that I want. I can continue on with these awesome patterns. Maybe if I came down like this, let's see, I might make something, ooh, look at that. It's like a zigzag kind of a line. So then I come down and let's see, it has 1, 2, 3 is where it stops on the top. So if I come up 1, come down 2, back up here. So not exactly the same, but again, you can tell that I've really tried. So when I put a spiral line on this side, I come and put one on this side, right? Now I'm gonna continue making patterns on my sugar skull. 2, 3, 4. So then I'm gonna come over here to this side, 1, 2, 3, and this big one, 4. And I'm just gonna continue adding patterns to my sugar skull. Now these spots out here and these spaces, you can also add patterns and line designs too. I can add, you can start by just kind of tracing around the shape of them. And then if I want to, I can add line patterns in here to make them a little bit more interesting. When I start to add color, if I make this petal a beautiful sort of purpley pink color, then I need to go over and do it on the other side over here. Now to keep things symmetrical, if I decided, for example, to make all of these petals this color, I could kind of remind myself what color they're going to be by doing this, but I can add in a different color in between possibly. I did it on one side, I need to go and do it on the other. If this particular circle is going to be this beautiful red orangey color, then it needs to be the red orangey color over here on this side, right? So I want you to continue on with your coloring. Miss Rayborn will finish this up and I'll post a picture of it finished on the next slide over. I can't wait to see what sort of amazing patterns and designs you create. Just remember that when you do it to one side, you have to go over and do it to the other side, right? So enjoy adding some color. Make sure you've got lots of patterns, not only on your sugar skull, but also in your background. And in a little bit, Miss Rayborn will share with you how to turn it in and share it with us in Seesaw. Can't wait to see. Bye for now.